we had there's a lot of construction going on around work, and somebody decided to hit a fiber optics line.
Oh no!
And our internet went down. I was like, oh no,
that's not good. Yeah.
Yeah. It happened early this morning, and I called Scott. I was like, Scott, how are we going to do the show? He's like, I got it covered. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I thought I had it covered. When I tore everything down, rebuilt everything, and then I'm just like, okay, there's all these settings get like reset. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Blasted internet.
Hey guys, I'm just going to change something on my audio. Let me know if you can still hear me. Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, that's good. Okay, I just want to make sure.
Oh
that's
yeah.
all.
Oh mercy.
So how have things been going for you guys over the last year with COVID and all that stuff, and increase in sales? Like, because a lot of people are talking about how people got into. Yeah.
Very strong. The whole industry's way up.
Yeah.
So.
What's your delivery time right now on average for someone? Because I heard actually, I think it was.
There's no average. There's no average right now.
Right?
There's some stuff that's really back ordered. There's some stuff that's in stock.
Yeah.
When COVID was in full swing last fourth quarter, okay, we had about 18 months of inventory in stock. We sold it all in 16 weeks.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Weeks. Yeah, that is
anything like it before.
No,
there was no comet, no Mars opposition, no eclipse, nothing.
Yeah.
As far as interest in astronomy has gone like
skyrocketed.
This period during the pandemic.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I heard that some telescope manufacturers brands are back ordered up to a year actually with scopes and various things, even mounts in some cases.
Even the used market.
It was about a 2-month where the entire supply chain for the entire industry stopped.
Really? Okay.
Last year. So starting that engine back up again has been really insane.
Are you finding that your equipment is getting tied up offshore on the boats and stuff that they're talking about?
Us like everybody else, ships are out there floating in some cases for many weeks.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And plus the rise in cost of getting a container.
Yeah, the containers went up dramatically. I saw up to they were saying like $24,000 or something for a container.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I was when I started Explore Scientific, it cost $2,000 to $3,000 to get a container from port to port.
Yeah.
A few $100s to get it to your facility on a truck. Now it's like you said, $24,000 to $25,000 a container, and then to get it to you from the port, if you want any kind of priority, you're paying upwards of another $7,000.
Wow, that's insane. Jeez, that really affects your cost then too, right? And your retail.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, it's basically, it's being, it's now built into the price, like it was before, of course, but now everybody that is buying things, no matter what it is, from screws to kitchen appliances to telescopes, are having to pay a higher price.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, everything's gone up in price now because of COVID. So yeah, that's crazy, but that's the new reality, I guess, right?
Yes, sir.
Hopefully not for much longer, though. At least.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you're going to see much of a backwards trend to what we used to know as normal.
You might see a more forward trend because everybody maybe will start getting vaccine. Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no telling. There's honestly no telling. So I know that you started doing a show called Astro Talk.
Astro Chat. Yeah. It's not really a name of it. I just didn't know what to call it.
It's perfect. It's honestly perfect.
Hello, everybody. This is Scott Roberts from Explore Scientific and the Explore Alliance, and you are watching Focus on Astrophotography. I'm actually broadcasting from home because Explore Scientific's fiber cable to our building was cut. So you got Tyler broadcasting from home, myself broadcasting from home. But we have Shawn Nielsen on with us today, and I'm going to let Tyler introduce Shawn. And I'm glad you guys are watching.
Hi guys, Tyler here. I'm in my Astro Chat at home. Today's special guest is a gentleman that I've known for a little bit. He's been on some other shows that I've been a part of. He's great with people. He knows, in my opinion, he knows how to do astrophotography. He can help beginners get started and set up for success. So nobody does it better than our very own Shawn Nielsen. Shawn, how the heck are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me on, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Yeah, glad to have you. I'm glad you actually were able to fit time in your schedule to get us.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no problem for you. Yeah, I can do it.
So tell us, in case the audience doesn't know who you are, give us a little bit of backbone or backstory of who you are.
Yeah. Okay, so basically, I do astrophotography. I've been doing it seriously since about 2008, and that's when I got back into the hobby. I actually did it when I was a teenager, built my own telescopes and did some photography with of the planets and M31 with a 14.5-inch reflector that I had built. I actually used, I don't know if you remember Jack Newton's cold camera at all. But that was a unit that you put a piece of film in and you packed it with dry ice and you attached it to the telescope and took pictures. It was quite different from what we know now in terms of astrophotography, but excuse me, but it was fun. It was a learning curve, and I followed astronomy for a good, after that, a good 20 years, but I wasn't actively involved in it. It wasn't until about 2008 that my interest sparked again, and I rekindled a relationship with the night sky. And I jumped into, my interest wasn't observing. I've never been much of an observer. It's been really largely photography. And so I jumped right in to astrophotography, not knowing what I was doing and what I was getting into, and had a lot of fun trying to figure everything out. But I managed through it, waded through it, and with the help of other people. And I just, in the last 3 years, started my YouTube channel, Visible Dark on YouTube, which I reach out to people to help them with different aspects of the hobby. A large component of it is image processing, which is a big challenge for a lot of people. You can, once you've mastered collecting the data, it's a whole other ball of wax to try and process it, right? So, and a lot of people don't understand maybe why they're not getting the same type of pictures or images that other astrophotographers are getting, and so I can help them, and I do that either through the channel with videos, or I do it one-on-one. I have one-on-one tutoring that I do, and equipment help where get things sort of ironed out for them so that they can start collecting the data properly and learn how to image process properly. So, and then I just started doing a show of my own, Astro Chat, for lack of a better name for it. And I'm just getting some of the YouTube personalities together, and we're just having a casual conversation about different things within the hobby, and different a look into their personal life a bit in terms of what got them started in astrophotography, and why they started on YouTube, and different things like that.
Great. That sounds fantastic. Yeah, I've sat in on some of the Astro Chat, and it's some of it is very informative, especially for beginners. Just to see that your YouTube idols just started just like you did. Yeah, and they did. It's kind of humbling, because you're the second person I've ever heard of, other than Scott telling me, him being the first, about the Jack Newton's camera that you mentioned.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
That's the second time I've ever heard of it. And it's intriguing to know that people.
The thing that was so cool about Jack, is still cool about Jack, is that he's a guy that if you tell him he can't do it, okay, he's the first guy to go out and do it and break the boundaries, So back in the day when I was at Mead Instruments, I we created a whole segment about Jack Newton, and the whole title about it. It was this beautiful shot. We hired this Hollywood portrait photographer to photograph him. He had done like Jimmy Stewart and people like that. So he made this incredible heroic image of Jack. And to me, he is one of my heroes, you know, so, but the whole thing was about breaking boundaries, and Jack does that, you know, so he did it in solar, he did it in deep sky, one of the first guys to do color CCD imaging, you know, so, you know, and I know in Canada, he's a iconic,
he is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. He's
worldwide. So
yeah, he was originally. I think he was originally.
I can understand how you would give reference back to him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Jack did a phenomenal job with the hobby in general and astrophotography, and being quite a pioneer. And you know, I distinctly remember using his cold camera. I remember ordering it and getting it, and I was just so excited, and found a local company that had some dry ice, and I stored it in my deep freezer, which didn't work too well, but. For dry ice, because anything will melt dry ice, right? Even in a deep freezer. So
yeah, it's got to be as cold as dry ice. So
yeah, it's got to be as cold, and I didn't have anything, so I had to do, you know, I had to work quickly with it. But it was a lot of fun, and you know, Jack's really done a lot for the astrophotography community and the astronomy community. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what were the struggles? How did you actually get to where you are now? How did you set up for success doing either? I know you don't do much visual, but just for astrophotography, since that's what this basically show's about. How did you start, or know what the next step was to set up for success?
Yeah,
there's a lot of people that get like C8s or starting out. They just get giant SETs and they don't think, oh no, I bit off more than I can chew. Yeah. How do I survive this?
That's actually exactly what I did when I got back into it. In 2008, I went out. The first thing I bought was an SCT, an 8-inch SCT with all the bells and whistles, all the blinky little lights and everything, you know, and it would, you know, move by itself. And it was like, wow, this is awesome. I had no clue what I was getting into. It was a complete disaster in terms of wanting to do astrophotography. I slapped a refurb Canon 350 XT camera on it. Wasn't modified or anything, just picked it up from an electronic shop, and I slapped that on the back and started taking images. You know, I would, and it was in alt-az mode. I wasn't guiding or anything, just using the built-in tracking mechanism of the scope. And I didn't understand what I was doing. I would take 30-second exposures, but I got to tell you, as awful as those images are, looking back at them, it was an amazing time. I was so excited. I was so thrilled to be able to capture these images of, you know, nebulas and deep sky objects in general. It was just fascinating to me to see it on the camera or in the picture. So it really, even though it was a very challenging time when I first got into it and I was having a lot of difficulties, I was still feeling very rewarded from it. And it actually motivated me to keep trying, because I wanted to do better. I could see people that were out there, you know, taking these amazing images, and I wanted to be able to do what they did. So it really spurred me on. And I actually, one of the best things that I did was not only, I know it doesn't exist too much anymore, really, everything's gone online, but we have a local telescope store, a brick and mortar one that,
nice.
Yeah, which is really great, because you can walk in there, you can see the different telescopes, you can talk to people, knowledgeable people that know, you know, what the different telescopes are, and what would be good for visual, what would be good for astrophotography, and that. So that was a very important part of.
Which store is that?
KW Telescope, actually. KW Telescope.
They are very good guys. Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Brian Dernish owns it. He's fantastic. He's extremely helpful, does a great job, and he's always willing to, get in there and make sure that what you've purchased is going to be working correctly for you. So, yeah, that was a first good step, was being able to go to a real telescope store and talk to people and understand things better. The other thing I did was I joined an astronomy club, and that was really crucial in elevating my learning for not only learning the night sky, but also astrophotography in general, because a lot of the members were into taking pictures. And so I was able to actually garner a lot of information, a lot of good information from these people. They guided me. They told me, what I didn't know what dark frames were. I didn't know what flats were. I wasn't doing anything like that, right? So these are people that knew what they were, and they helped me understand the concepts and the application and how to capture these files, not just the light frames, but the darks and the flats and the bias frames and all that, and how to work with it, how to process it, calibrate and process. So that was really crucial. And from there, I really just started wanting to absorb as much knowledge as I possibly could. So I would, read about astrophotography. I would watch anything online that was available at the time, and really dived into it and wouldn't give up. It was almost an addiction of sorts, is what it became, to be honest with you. Just that desire to keep going and keep imaging the night sky and trying to get better and better, right? So, but I stuck with DSLR astrophotography for many years. Actually, I was actually very slow to migrate over to CCD cameras or later on CMOS cameras, but I kept with the DSLR for about until about 2015,
Wow.
2017 or so. Yeah, like it wasn't that long ago that I switched over to CCD.
That's great.
And yeah. But
That's
I had gotten really good at imaging with a DSLR. That was my thing, right? I knew how to do it, and I was good at it by, after it took me a good 2 years. It took me a good 2 years to master everything. But by the time I got through those 2 years, I was really good, and I was enjoying it and having a lot of fun, pulling all-nighters, going out to dark sites. Like we'd stay up till 5 a.m. and then drive home and go to work at 7 or something, like it's just crazy stuff. But you know what? It didn't matter. It was just incredible. Best times that I can remember. So that ultimately led to advancing with the equipment as everyone does. You want to it's like a bug that you get, a fever, the Astro fever, and you got to keep buying more and more, and you got to keep upgrading and that's what happened. I just kept going and got into a CCD camera, got into the CMOS cameras, the ASIs and the QHYs and the Moravian CCD. I actually still have my Moravian CCD camera, and that was my venture actually into not only doing color imaging, one-shot color with the CMOS cameras, but also monochrome. The Moravian was a monochrome based. It had a built-in filter wheel to it. So that was my first venture into doing monochrome, and that was a whole new ball of wax, right? It was completely different. So that was something I had to learn again, right? But again, loads of interest for it and desire to learn, and I got through it, and it really, I got to mention a lot of people that really helped me, like Ron Breacher. Ron Breacher was, I met him back in, I actually met him back in 2008 when I got back into it. He was doing a little lecture of sorts, informational lecture at the telescope store, and I attended it and talked to him briefly about it. I never thinking that years later we'd be good friends and chat and have breakfast and stuff like that, right? But he was instrumental in helping me. He's got a very keen interest in the night sky that he developed, and he likes to share that with other people.
He does.
Yeah, he really likes to share the night sky with other people and his adventures and stuff like that. So he was very open and inviting to me in terms of answering questions and showing me the ropes and whatnot. And that was really great. So I really appreciated that. But I had other individuals, not so well known people, but I do remember one gentleman. His name was Steve Holmes, and he was a member of the astronomy club. And he was very instrumental in helping me understand things like flat frames and dark frames and things like that. So I really encourage anybody, if you're getting into it, to really reach out and try and make connections with other people, like-minded people that are in the hobby, because that's really going to be a phenomenal source of information for you, and a phenomenal source of learning for you as well.
Now you mentioned oh shoot, you said the word, now I've lost it. Just dag nabbit. Oh, it'll come to me. But while we're taking this little mental break that I just had, Scott, do you want? It was recognized. That was it. Do you want to recognize?
Yeah. Okay, let's recognize some of the people that are watching our show today. We've got Mike Wiesner from Arizona. Mike is working with me right now on setting up the next Arizona Dark Sky Star Party out at Oracle Park.
I can't wait.
So that's going to happen in 2022.
Mike over
after is watching. We had a moment where we logged on. I thought we were broadcasting to all channels. We weren't, it seemed. And so I logged back off and logged back on. So that was the little glitch that you saw there. We have Sentil Nagapan watching Astro World TV. Hi, Scott and Shawn. Dan Higgins here. Martin Eastburn.
Hey, Dan. Dan's awesome. Astro World TV. Yeah.
Kyle Bannister. Hello, all. Okay. We've got Harold Locke. Hello, everybody. Try to find Focus on Astrophotography show. This might be it. Yes, it is. Okay. We've got Steve, who used to be called Book, okay, which is his nickname, but now he's going by Steve. So he's a regular. We've got Andreas Nielsen watching from Sweden. Hello,
Andreas.
Shawn, my friend.
Yeah, Andreas and I talk a lot.
Everyone. So that's
hi,
great.
Andreas.
Yeah. Astro World. Let's see more from him. Let's see. We've got Mark Ellis. Back working yet?
Mark, good old Mark. Yeah, I think he's down in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he is. He's in Arizona. Yep.
Yeah. We chat back and forth quite a bit, actually, about the astrophotography. So he's awesome.
We have Beatrice Hines from Belgium watching.
Beatrice, yeah, I know of Beatrice too. Actually, yeah, a lot of folks watching. That's awesome.
Telling you,
cool. It's cool. Let's see, the Bloodstone. Shawn is the man.
Dylan,
all the way.
Dylan is watching. This is awesome. Everybody's watching.
The Bloodstone. Dylan, huh?
Which Dylan? Dylan O'Donnell? Dylan?
No, not Dylan O'Donnell. Okay. No, this is a different Dylan. He's actually a musician. Nice. But he follows me. He's a subscriber to my YouTube channel. He follows me on Twitter and whatnot. We've talked back and forth a bit and stuff like that. So he's a cool guy. Yeah.
Cool.
Let's see. We've got Martin Eastburn. He's out in East Texas. And they're talking about the Jack Newton cold camera. Says, the Jack Newton cold camera. I remember it. My dad and followed that route decades ago. Pekka says other broadcasters would have been left undelivered, but Explore Scientific won't give up so easily. The show must go on. That's right, dude. Let's see. Mark Ellis, Trials and Tribulations, the name of the game.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right. Here we are trying to use the internet, which can be sketchy sometimes, especially when your fiber optics cable gets cut. So, which is what happened to us. I think there was an accident or something like that. I can't recall exactly what was the problem. But you guys should have seen me like scrambling, trying to get out of the office with all my broadcasting stuff, setting back up in my apartment, doing this. It was crazy. We've got, let me see some other comments here. Pekka says, Scott, that would have been something to see as an opening topic for all Explore Scientific broadcasts. He's probably talking about the, the fact that you are, so good at, breaking things down, Shawn. That's awesome. Bloodstone says, I think Shawn and I were talking about that Jack Newton cold camera about a month or two ago on Twitter.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Andreas Nielsen, great to have Shawn as an astro friend, and he inspires me a lot with image processing tips and tricks.
Yeah, yeah. Andreas is a great guy. We've chatted quite a bit on Facebook Messenger, back and forth. He's a really he got into astrophotography and he's really come a long way. He does some phenomenal work himself, and his solar imaging is really great. And he does some. Yeah, he's done some really good stuff with deep sky stuff too. But he's a big supporter of my work as well, and he's constantly giving me shouts out and stuff like that. So
awesome.
thumbs up to him. Yeah,
he's
awesome.
He's really amazing in the respect that he does such incredible work from, I think he's on his
balcony.
Patio, right?
His balcony, I think it is. Yeah,
yeah. And that's a lesson for everybody. Do astronomy from where you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to work with what you got.
From your patio and light polluted, whatever city, get at it, so.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Get the camera out and start shooting pictures.
Yep.
It's funny. I'm going to back you up. I'm going to back you up a bit, Scott. Mike Wiesner. Sure. It's funny that he's watching because the name rang a bell when you said it, and I just looked it up.
ETX guy, right?
Yeah, ETX. I actually would actually follow him years ago. Not I can't say I have recently, but when I was starting out again, getting back into it, I was actually following his website and what he was doing, and I think he was on social media at some point, and I'd see his updates and stuff like that. So that's kind of cool that he's watching.
He just recently published a book about his life and all of that, so it's very cool.
Oh, is that right? Oh, awesome. Great. Good.
Yeah, you can find it on Amazon. Jim's Astro is on. We've got Astrophotography.
Oh, Russ. Rosine. Yeah, Russ. Actually, he's going to be on.
Those first images stay with you, young man. Even today, when I look at the moon, I can't get over the feeling and the nostalgia. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I got into astrophotography, or into astronomy, I should say, as a kid, probably 10 years old. My dad had, I don't even really know what to call it. It was a small Tasco telescope, maybe 30 millimeter. It was sort of a collapsible design. And I would look at the moon through the balcony window with it. And I just got completely entranced and enthralled in the moon. And I started reading books about the solar system and the planets and whatnot. And my parents, they saw my curiosity and my interest developing in astronomy, and they took me to Toronto, which is about an hour away from me here in Ontario, and they bought me my first telescope, which sort of launched the whole addiction at that point. I was hooked.
Well, you never know where a small telescope might take you. So
yeah, absolutely. You know what? I had great times with it. It was a 4.5-inch reflector. It was nothing fancy. It had a wooden tripod. Yeah. And it was.
My first telescope was a 40 millimeter from Kmart. So
okay, there you go.
I keep it on my desk. I keep that telescope on my desk.
Absolutely.
Just to remind me
where
a little telescope can take you.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got nebula photos. I wish watching, I guess on YouTube, I wish I had a telescope store. That would be so cool, So we're talking.
That's Nico actually, and Nico has a YouTube channel as well, Nebula Photos. And he's really fantastic. He's got a lot of subscribers. He does a phenomenal job in talking, presenting. He's really good at it, and he gets into a lot of details. He really dives into the details with his videos and that. So he's actually going to be joining me tonight after I'm done this show on my Astro Chat show, which is fabulous. I'm looking forward to. It'll be the first time that I actually get together online and talk to him for real. So it'll be a fun time. Cool. Looking forward to it. Yeah,
that's awesome. Let's see. Aaron Thompson says the closest telescope store to me is 8-hour drive.
8 hours, wow.
It might be all the way. Aaron is actually developing software for the PMC8 system. Aaron, that distance might be all the way to Explore Scientific in Springdale. We have a fairly sizable showroom, so I like to, I like to show it off sometime. Let's see. Astrophotography. There's a local Astro Club here for me as well, but no stores nearby really. But it's absolutely fine.
Yeah, that's Razine. Razine's on YouTube as well, actually. He's another YouTuber, Astro YouTuber. Really nice guy, really great. Does some good videos and that. He's actually going to be on the show as well after I'm done this one.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, I'm going to have to start tuning in. It sounds like you have a great show there, Shawn.
Well, what we're doing right now is we're recording. We're not doing it live. When I did the first one, the consensus was not to do it live, just in case someone said something or whatever that, So basically what I do is I record them and I edit it a bit just down because it can drag on a little bit, with conversation that maybe I want to focus on specific things. So I edit it down and then I post it. And the first one I did was really well received. I was actually really surprised. I didn't know that it was going to get the attention that it did. So yeah, really fantastic.
Well, it's because you're good at it, Shawn. So that's good.
I guess. Who would have thought? I had no idea I was good at this stuff.
Let's see. Let's see. Well, let's see. Tarek Almani, he's from the UAE. So now I want to take your opinion or advice. Should I buy the 6th camera? I don't know. I know there's guys I know, Tarek, that own more cameras than they do telescopes. It's almost like people that own lots of eyepieces. They have different cameras that really transform their telescope, for different kinds of imaging. So, but Shawn can probably talk to that more than I can.
Actually, maybe not.
How many cameras do you have, Tyler?
Do what?
How many cameras do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4. Enough.
Enough. He stopped counting at 4. I actually only have 3 cameras. Some of the cameras that I did have, I actually sold along the way to fund new cameras that I was interested in. So I've tried a variety of different makes of cameras, different brands. But the ones I have right now are I have 2 QHY cameras. That's a 268 color, one-shot color, and I have the 268 monochrome. And the monochrome, the 268 monochrome is what I'm using currently. I've been using that for the last year. And I have the Moravian CCD, the 16200 enhanced cooling version, which has the built-in filter wheel to it. So those were the 3 cameras that I've stuck with. And although the other 2, the one-shot color and the Moravian, don't get used a lot, they're still in my arsenal, and not really looking to give them up because you never know what comes. What I've learned anyways is what comes down the road. You want to build a beefier setup. Maybe do a dual rig or something like that. I know Dan from Astro World TV there. He's actually just putting together a dual rig system. Yeah. So cool. That could be a lot of fun. And I know Ron does it too. Ron has a dual system where he shoots monochrome and he shoots color at the same time. And, he can collect a huge amount of data in one night by doing that, as opposed to having to do it over multiple nights. So it's a really interesting way to go. So I don't know, maybe at some point I'll do something like that too. And, make use of the other cameras a little more.
I'm waiting for you to do a side-by-side.
Are you? Okay.
Stereo view of the sky. Yes. Let's see. So we have, let's see. I asked the question to the audience what their favorite telescope camera combination was.
Interesting.
So there was some commentary about that. People reminiscing about their first telescopes. Let's see. Andreas Nielsen says, I have a 174 millimeter, a 1600 MC, 2600 Pro, a 294 Pro, Sony RX 10-4, and an old Next Image 10. Guess I am a camera hoarder.
Yeah, he's cornered the market on that, eh?
Yeah, gosh. Let somebody else have a camera, Andreas.
Yeah, please.
I'm joking, of course. Let's see. Yeah, and so we have a wonderful group here, Jim's Astro, all these wonderful people. A lot of people that have not seen our show before, so thank you very much for coming on. And Shawn, I know that you put the word out, so thanks very much. That was very cool.
No problem at all. Yeah, I always enjoy coming on the show here, so fantastic. Right. Yeah,
I'll let you guys get on with it.
What was the what was the general consensus though in terms of camera that people were talking about online?
You know, they're just kind of popping in. Some people choose to say, and I guess some people don't.
Is that right? Okay. All right. Yeah. I know the ASI cameras just get a phenomenal amount of publicity. Everyone's into the ASI Air. I've actually never tried it myself. It's not, sorry, go ahead.
It's great for beginners, especially starting out.
Yeah.
It's an all-in-one package deal.
Yeah.
So does the guiding, the imaging capturing, the polar aligning, the focus routine. If you have, well, you can still do the focus routine with the knobs, but if you got the EAF, it's easier, so you can do an autofocus routine.
Sure.
And you sit in a chair like you do now and just image.
Yeah.
But it's great for beginners. I mean, it's a little Raspberry Pi. It works with all ZWO equipment. I mean, it's only proprietary software. So you're stuck in that genre.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
kind of, it's a good or bad situation, depending on how you take it. I like it. So
yeah. Well, yeah, I've read a lot of good things about it. I've seen a lot of videos online, people talking about it. It's very, very popular. I know QHY is actually developing their own. I think it's called the Star Master, but I'm not sure about that. They actually sent me a prototype to try out. I actually didn't really get around to trying it though, unfortunately, because it's not my way of imaging, unfortunately, with a device like that on a mobile phone. I don't enjoy doing that. I'm more of a PC with a big monitor sort of person and remoting into the other computer to control the telescope and whatnot. So, but
going on.
What's that?
Comments here. Steve Hand saying, I have an old Meade CCD that would have been probably out of that Picture series line. I'm sorry. I worked on that, but some of the Picture series are actually quite excellent. So that did work out. The early ones, a little tough. Mark Ellis, tough one. So far, it's my Explore Scientific 152 with the ASI 2600 millimeter or excuse me. Have it, and my ASCAR 600 with ASI 6200 mm.
Yeah, Mark has a really nice setup actually, and he's doing some really great astrophotography in Arizona there. So I've seen he's actually shared some of his data with me too, which is really cool. And I've had a chance to process it. So yeah, he's a good guy, really really nice. And so is Steve Hand actually. I know Steve Hand. He actually. He was having some difficulties with flats and that, and emailed me just recently about it. So we were getting him sorted out with his flats and whatnot. But he's learning astrophotography, and he's coming a long way. You know, his recent work has been really fantastic. So yeah, really impressive.
Cool, really cool. Tarek says my new camera, which I tested today for dark frame, is the APS-C mono. I'm not sure who makes that one. You might know that.
It's just sensor size. That's all that is.
I see. And then we've got Beatrice Hines. She says she's got two refractors, Williams Optics, Zenith Star 61 and TS Optica TS86S DQ, and a Skywatcher 8-inch Newtonian. I have three cameras: ZWO ASI 294 MC Pro, ZWO ASI 533 MC Pro, and a Canon EOS 750D unmodified.
Wow, nice. That's great. That's quite the arsenal,
right? Yeah, and she's a good astrophotographer. She is. She was showing us some of her work earlier, and definitely is a pixel peeper for sure, which always makes you better, I guess. Let's see. Pekka wants to know, when did you try remote control telescopes? Are you, are you not going back to nubs and nopes? Not sure. And you can do visual as well as through a camera. Recently, I worked on the Mark Slade Remote Observatory, and he commented a lot about taking short exposures and just using kind of the camera as like an eyepiece, you know, like electronically assisted astronomy.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly. I was actually just going to get into that. I have actually done that some nights where I just sort of peeked around just to see different deep sky objects and what it was. I would start with the moon, maybe swing over to the moon, and early on before it got really dark, and then I would just swing over to some whatever objects that I wanted to, and just take short exposures, 1 minute or 2 minutes, just to check them out, and then move over to the next. So you can definitely do visual, I guess, with the camera. That's absolutely true, and it's a lot of fun too. If you just want to unwind and take a break from things and enjoy some of the deep sky objects out there.
Yep. 100% agree.
Yeah, keeping it fun is really important.
Keeping it fun is really important because it can be very challenging. It can be frustrating. And depending on your enthusiasm and how much of an addiction you have for it, it can be a job sometimes. It can feel really difficult. So keeping it fun and just being lighthearted about it is very important.
Agreed.
Right.
We got a lot of people watching today, don't we, Scott?
Yeah, but that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Lots of responses.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful.
Yeah. I love the interaction that you're getting, actually. People asking questions and talking.
I like to interact with the audience.
Yeah.
They often make the show. So
yeah, absolutely.
They have lots of questions. Their passion definitely comes through, and it's a huge element of shows like this. As you
absolutely,
well know, Shawn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shawn, tell us more about your program and your website.
Sorry, me? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know. I didn't catch who you said. I wasn't sure if you were talking to Tyler.
Our special guest.
I'm nobody. Right. Just breeze over me. Let's talk to Tyler. Tyler, how's it going, buddy?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, I do astrophotography now largely from my home. I don't go to dark sites anymore. I do occasionally, but I really don't have. My setup has advanced to the point that, it's become quite involved and cumbersome to transport. I switched over to a permanent, I call it a semi-permanent setup, where I have a pier installed and I have everything set up on it. And it actually is not anything fancy, but it's covered by a tarp and it lives outside, but it's ready to go at a moment's notice, so I can fire it up and get imaging. Doing that actually improved my astrophotography tremendously. Just having everything ready to go. Yeah. One of the difficulties I found, challenges, I guess, was sometimes you didn't feel like going through the whole setup process, getting things pulled out and put together and polar aligning and all that stuff. So migrating to a more permanent sort of solution was really fantastic for me, because it took a lot of that effort out of it, and I just had to turn on the power and get things connected, and I could start imaging. So I was actually able to get a lot more imaging done because I could take advantage of pockets of clear sky where I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was having to drive to a dark site and set up and whatnot. But that all came at a price too, where I'm dealing with more light pollution, obviously, than I would at a dark site. So it's the conditions are more challenging to image in. But it's proven very rewarding, and I would love to have an observatory. I know Wayne there at Skyshed Observatories there, Skyshed Pods. He keeps asking me, keeps trying to get me to buy one, but my backyard is just not conducive to it. We actually reside on a green space. We're adjacent to a green space, and we've got 100-foot trees. So anywhere in my backyard that I would put an observatory just wouldn't work. I would lose too much sky. So I have the telescope right now. Actually, there's a funny story behind where it is right now.
Oh, where is it set up?
Yeah, it's set up on the patio actually, and it's a big patio, big concrete patio, 5 inches thick, and it doesn't move really. My polar alignment stays really good throughout the whole year. I don't have to polar align more than twice a year, but where it's situated, it's great for me. The wife didn't really care for it too much, though. Yeah. So she went out one Saturday, and I had a friend come over, and we drilled into the patio and bolted this pier into it and filled it with sand. It was installed, and there was nothing she could do. She had to accept it. So I was in the doghouse for a little bit, but
blood draining from her face moment as she saw the
yeah. It's always been a sort of a sore spot, She's like, I wish that wasn't there.
But you got to decorate it. You got to decorate it so it looks like some sort of bird bath or something when you don't have a telescope on it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully she doesn't want to decorate it with lights or anything like that, because that would be awful. So, yeah. So I started. I actually, I got my setup here at home, and I enjoy imaging from home. And that sort of led me to start with the YouTube channel and get that. It'll be 3 years this January, actually, that I started the YouTube channel. And I enjoy really helping other people if I can, because I had a tremendous amount of help, like I said, when I got started in the hobby. And it was really fantastic that these people were so willing to, assist me and help me learn. So I sort of wanted to pay that forward. And that was one of the ideas behind the YouTube channel when I started it, was to be able to pay it forward and help others. And I get emails. There's some really fantastic people out there. Some of the people are watching actually right now, which is great. But I get emails from people that, thank me for helping them get started or teaching them, something that they didn't know. And it's just incredible to see the response that I've gotten from around the world, people from all over the place, France, the UK, the United States, Australia, everywhere. They're getting in touch and letting me know that they're really appreciative of what I'm doing, and being out there in front of the world on camera and helping them to learn. So yeah.
Excellent. Well, Tyler, do you have? Where would you like to take this?
Well, I'm trying. My youngest one keeps coming up, dropping stuff, and I'm trying to tell him to kind of gently go away. It's hard with a 4-year-old. They don't listen very well. I actually started, just if you want to know a little more backstory too, I actually started my my outreach in 2013, to be honest with you, but through a website that was called Ontario Stargazing at the time. And that was my first sort of venture, wetting my feet in trying to reach people within the hobby of astronomy and astrophotography. I was actually, funny enough, I should have gotten on YouTube at the time. I would have been a pioneer at that point. But I was afraid. I didn't want to go in camera. I wasn't comfortable on camera. So it's only
I noticed that with a lot of people that actually have quite a bit of knowledge. They're afraid to go on camera, even to be recorded. Where they even to be recorded
is difficult. Yeah. Well, you should see my blooper reel from my recordings when I do videos and that. There's some really funny stuff, and there's a lot of swear words sometimes because I'll repeat the same line over and over, and I just can't nail it. So a lot of editing goes into those videos.
Yes. Yeah. We do everything live, and if we make mistakes, okay, I just leave them in. Of course, I can't get them out.
You can't edit them out. Yeah, exactly.
But we do it all, and the mistakes. When you see us make a mistake, that's when they know it's actually really live. So
for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Very
cool. If anyone's getting started in astrophotography, in addition to finding an astronomy club and like-minded people, one of the best things that you can do is use what you've got. If you've already got a camera and a tripod, set it up and point it at the night sky. Take some photos, because I've done that even to this day. It's fun, it's rewarding, and it's not that difficult to do. You put it on a high ISO setting, and open it up wide, and take a 15-second exposure, and you'd be surprised what you can capture. Some of the brighter deep sky objects are quite visible in these shots. So I have a great time even to this day still doing that, and that's a fantastic way to start. And then you can sort of migrate to something like like what is it that I'm thinking of, the Skywatcher Star Adventurer, the mini mounts, little mini EQ mounts. You can migrate to that, so you can do some tracking and take longer exposures, and then move to something more advanced. But the one thing to keep in mind when you're starting out, I think, is really important, and I didn't, but I did after I started gathering more knowledge and getting in touch with people and listening to what they were saying and taking advice, is to start with wide field imaging. That's going to be your best bet. Short focal length, wide field, because it's going to be more forgiving than if you try to jump, head first into it with like I did with an SCT at f10 and try and make that work. You're just going to be frustrated and you might give up, sadly enough. But if you start out small, it all comes in small steps, and those small steps, continue and gather and build momentum, and eventually.
Was there a moment where you're taking these small steps? I remember just in regular photography, I was kind of stumbling along, and then all of a sudden it seemed like one night everything just kind of came in perfect clarity for me.
Actually,
and
that's,
you had this breakthrough moment.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a number of breakthrough moments. It took me a while to get to that point, but I did have some breakthrough moments. I remember them vividly, and that's what I said about that 2-year mark is where I really started to take off with it, and those breakthrough moments were happening, and I started getting images published in Sky and Telescope and Astronomy magazine and stuff, and it was just incredible because I was like, wow, I've only been doing this for 3 years or something like that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, but keep it lighthearted and start out, take those small steps because it's all about patience and learning. But take those small steps and you'll be really rewarded later on, and you'll get to a point where your images are going to be wowing everybody, and you're going to really appreciate looking back on the journey.
Right. Bloodstone has a question for you.
Okay.
You ever feel pigeonholed by the PixInsight tutorials? I know your skill is way wider than that, but I often wonder if you feel that way.
Yeah, that actually, funny enough, that is something that came up in the last Astro Chat. We were talking, the various YouTubers on were talking about what they do and so forth. We were talking about the different styles that everyone had with their approach to the videos that they produce in their channel. Some people have a very broad scope. Other people are more specific. And I actually brought up the fact that although I started my YouTube channel with the PixInsight tutorials. That was the beginning of it. And that is what grew my audience. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's only so much that you can do with it. There's only so much you can show before you're starting to repeat yourself. So, and that's fine for new people, if there's beginners, that's great, but I would be repeating a lot of the same videos and stuff and whatnot. And that's not really helping the long time subscribers and the ones that want to learn more. So yeah, it sort of was a double-edged sword in a lot of ways. It helped me get started and get an audience and start helping people, but it was a little limiting as well. So I've tried in the last year to branch out a little bit and do different types of videos that are not about image processing, just to sort of try and broaden the scope of the channel a little more and make it a little more entertaining, not only for myself, but hopefully for the viewers as well.
Sure.
Good. That's great. I mean, I always enjoy your videos. They're very informative.
Thanks. Yeah. Awesome. That's great.
I mean, I'm not PixInsight savvy, which most beginners aren't, but you've definitely helped me move along and understand how the process works. So yeah, I am fortunate to have met you and run into your website and YouTube pages because of that.
Thank you. That's very humbling, actually. That's awesome. Yeah, fantastic.
But I mean, as far as setting up for success, so we've determined to wrap up the show here is it would be a good idea to join an astronomical league that's close to your area if you have one. Find like-minded people that do the same hobby as you. Yeah, we're a small group of individuals, but we were telling you, I have gained more friends in the astronomical world than in real life.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I can count my friends in real life on my
not
hand.
Real life.
Well, it's because everybody's always. It's hard to meet people in person, but we're more of a online community.
I see. I understand what you mean.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
But the star parties is where we actually get to meet, and that's where the friendship really blossoms.
And And, you know, for learning, for getting started, you bring star parties up. That's fantastic too, because back in the day, when I was more active in the local astronomy club, we did star parties on a regular basis. And it was a great opportunity for the general public with an interest in astronomy and the night sky to come out to experience the different types of telescopes that are there, the different type of equipment that's available, and to learn about the night sky as well. So if you're getting started, if there is a local astronomy club, a branch of whatever organization is in your area, definitely check into it and see if they're, you know, maybe with, you know, COVID, you're starting to get better at some point here, there'll be more star parties happening, but definitely check those out because they're a great way to learn and actually see firsthand the different types of equipment that's available for astronomy, and you'll be able to talk about astrophotography too if that's something of interest with those people. So yeah, that's a very valuable resource to take advantage of if you can.
I agree. I completely agree. But I mean, Shawn, I really appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
On for another hour, 2 hours, but
yeah, we probably could, but yeah.
But unfortunately, we are encroaching on our hour, so we have to say goodbye to all our wonderful viewers. And Scott, I'm going to let you take it away.
Sure. All right, guys. Well, thanks very much. For all of you that are still watching, you know, we have next week will be our 70th Global Star Party. That will start a little bit early than our normal time of 7 p.m. Central. We're going to start at 6 p.m. Central. People that have already, presenters that have already RSVP'd, include, of course, David Levy, David Eicher, you know, lots of other of the regular presenters are going to be on that program. We will be giving away something special. I haven't figured that out yet, but something, you know, we do door prizes and stuff like that. So we're going to give away something a little bit special for the 70th event. It started all the way back on August 4th last year, and was a way for us and for our viewing audience to get together and to share an astronomy experience with live views through telescopes and great presentations. We've had music, we've had people singing on the program, we've had you know, incredible astrophotography tutorials from astronomers and astrophotographers from all over the world, also with a global audience. So it's been very, very cool. It kind of feels that way right now today because we have a global audience watching. So this is very nice. And Shawn, I don't know when your broadcasts happen in particular, but we typically do Global Star Party on Tuesdays. And if you have an open spot, we'd love to show some live images through your telescopes. So
that'd be awesome. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to add before we?
I just thank you very much for having me on again, guys. It was fun. Appreciate it. And feel free to reach out anytime. Yes. Yeah.
So. We will, Shawn. I'll stay in touch.
Yeah. Next Wednesday when you're in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
We'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Why do we chase this thing? Jumping from one continent to the next, just to bathe for a moment in the absence of light. Who are we? What are we searching for?
T.S. Eliot wrote, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started, and know the place for the first time.
One of the qualities of seeing an eclipse is it makes you understand that every given thing is in a particular patterned relation with every other thing.
It gives me a sense of scale, gives me a sense of where I fit into the universe.
It is art, it's poetry, it's this kind of experience of going and seeing totality in which what feels merely metaphorical is suddenly experiential encounter.
Immediately afterwards, you have that overwhelming desire to see another one. That's the moment an eclipse chaser is born.
These are folks who are running all over the world for this event that lasts all of 2 or 3 minutes. Who are these people?
It's unique each time. And therefore that freshness, even if we've seen it over and over again, oh my gosh, it has the potential to re-inspire us.
A total eclipse of the sun doesn't just unfold in the heavens. It transforms the minds and hearts of those who experience it firsthand. The same is true of journeys to the most remote regions of our planet. Whether we're standing on a mountain peak or in a stark polar landscape, we can't help but reflect on our place within the larger scheme of things.